Chris, if you actually wanted to, like, look at the YouTube, well, it's fine. Yeah, if you wanted to look at the YouTube stream and make sure you can hear us, that'd be great. Alright, so they're gonna cut everything out before this. I think he's gonna cut it and repost it. So I'm gonna play an opening video and then we're gonna get started. Cool. Welcome, and here we are at VCamp 2026, day 1. We're going to be doing some cash game commentary today. I'm Johnny Betancourt, and I'm here joined by Xuan Liu.
Hi everybody, this is my first time working with VCamp. I'm so stoked, and it looks like we have this really cool RFID technology.
Yes, so Victor's worked really hard to actually get us streaming 3 tables tonight. I know that we've already got some action on table 3, and we're going to be commenting in a second, but just to let you know how this is going to work tonight, we've got 3 cash games going on. We're going to be toggling between the cash games, looking at the different hands, and we're going to be just talking about what we see and commenting on what we know about these players so far. We just kind of all met each other a few moments ago, and now we get to see kind of a baseline of how they're playing on day 1 of VCamp. Just to reiterate what VCamp is an annual poker boot camp that is hosted by Victor Lee, and he's done an exceptional job bringing some of the best poker coaches in the world together to coach 3 cohorts of students this year, and we're going to be really looking to see progress. We're going to see how are they doing on night 1 and kind of see as they progress in their skills over the course of the camp. So we're going to go ahead and start at table 3, and then as the other tables come online and start their game, we'll be commenting on those. But anyway, Xuan, I'm wondering to hear from you, what will you be looking for from your students tonight, like to kind of set a baseline?
I'm actually super impressed. All we've done so far is orientation, and I got to know these ladies a little bit. Some of you guys might know this is the first time I'm hosting an all-women camp. So here at table 3, the one we're looking at, we have 2 of my students. Chloe, she is an executive at Shell, and Ellen, who works from home and used to be an interior designer. And they're both incredible minds, and I'm so happy to have them. And I remember Chloe saying that maybe she has some problems with tilt, but she is otherwise quite fierce and aggressive at the table, and she's actually been playing quite a long time, almost as long as I have, 20 years actually. Since she was 14. I'm not sure if I should have given out her age just now, but nonetheless, she's a firecracker, and I really am looking forward to just seeing, whether their opinions of themselves match with what we're going to see here today. And Ellen says, she feels hyper empowered when she plays poker and scooping in those pots and going with her read and intuition. And so I think we're going to see a lot of progress and some fun plays.
I'm excited too. And speaking of empowered, Ellen just flopped the world and did not get called because her opponents didn't have anything. Talking about actually that very first hand that we saw, what do you think of Ellen's call with King 8 on the button?
I was too busy talking. Did she just flat call the button?
She flatted, yes.
Okay.
So we had a cutoff raise with 10-9 suited from Billy, and then she flatted with King 8 off. But she obviously flopped very well. I'm curious, what would be, what can we already start to take from that?
Yeah, Yeah, so, initially we might think that maybe she wants to play a lot of hands, but she is not comfortable enough turning up the aggression factor,
Yep.
which is, something that's understandable from players who are still learning. Here, I'm glad she didn't do anything funky with this Queen Deuce offsuit. But on the button we have King 8. It's a good high card hand, but it's unsuited.
Yeah.
So generally, I think we would all just throw that away. But it's not the end of the world if you want to play some extra hands.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's one of those hands that I think a lot of beginners. Wow, we got a lot going on in this hand. Maybe we chat about this. So we've got some draws going on, and we had a limp and a call, and or a limp and a check, and we got two draws here. And Forrest just made the nuts. Let's see how he plays this.
So Forrest went for the raise, and then Chloe just called.
I think he just limped, and Chloe just checked. So, but we do have a little bit.
$25 before.
Yeah, we did. I guess we did. I guess we actually had a raise and a call.
Okay. Interestingly enough, one of my modules is going to be on blind versus blind. If there was indeed a raise, this call from Chloe is, a little ambitious, but it is a rake-free game. Maybe she thinks she has a skill edge. I like that, she's not just going to be rolling over here with her hand.
Yeah. Oh, are we seeing Chloe get some ideas here? Forrest checked the nuts, and now Chloe feels forced to bluff potentially.
She did flop in a reasonable draw to obviously.
Oh, and we see the give up.
Okay, which is actually very good in this exact
Very
hand.
astute. Maybe that 20 years of poker experience just came in hand there. Wow. Well, that was an interesting hand already to start, and I feel like there's already some takeaways in terms of the blind play that you're going to be talking about tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely. We will also talk a bit about the blind structure, but good thing, here at VCamp we're here to learn, and it's a rake-free game.
Yeah. And also I could see, there being, in terms of the metagame, knowing that their hands are going to be commented on, there may be more of an incentive to play a few more extra hands, to get a bit of commentary, so that would kind of make sense and fall in line with why she may have called with the 8-5-0.
True, absolutely.
And then it turned into a really interesting spot. What do you think about Forrest checking his very strong hand on the river?
I wasn't super paying attention to the action on the turn, but I believe he only got one street of value before the river, right?
Right. Yeah.
At that point, he is out of position, and with a hand like that, he could definitely try to go for the check raise, but, given I don't think there was any indication that Chloe had a particularly strong hand, if it did go check on the turn, then, I would probably just go for value there on the river.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. The action's moving pretty quickly, so
Yeah.
we're also gonna have a few growing pains here in figuring out how to balance the commentary with keeping up with the action.
My brain also just has trouble following, there's text on both sides.
Yeah.
And you want to see where the cards are on the table.
Yep. So for context, these tables were built in the last 24 hours, and the interface is also, interesting. So yeah, we're all kind of learning and growing and figuring it out, but this is really fun. Chloe possibly getting in there with a few more commentary hands.
Generally the 9-8 offsuit, I know you're on the button, but it's not part of most charts, I would say. If you were to play it, maybe you can put in a 3-bet bluff in the spot, but again, not the end of the world to just see a flop.
Yeah, it's very tempting to take a flop with that hand, but as the games get tougher, you're going to get 3-bet a lot more. We are playing short-handed, so it's not a true under-the-gun 8. Yeah, but Michael takes it down with the best hand. And, yeah. Good job. I do think, I don't remember Michael's background, but I do believe he's played a lot of poker as well.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I'd be interested to kind of introduce some of the players' bios as we run into them. What do we have on Michael Weiss?
Oh wow, it actually says that he's recently won a WSOP online hybrid bracelet. So I think the hybrid bracelet is where they play a portion of that online and then they play the final
Do they
table
put
live.
hybrid on the bracelet? That would be messed up. For those of you that know or don't know, WSOP gives away awards many bracelets in the summer. And they have a lot of online events, but in a kind of annoying fashion, the online bracelets say online. So it's this weird, I don't know, this weird tier system where there's like an online bracelet and a live bracelet.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's a hybrid bracelet.
I mean, it definitely has a little more street cred than just the pure online bracelets, I think.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people think that the prestige of those are somewhat diluted since just due to the sheer number that are given out each year.
Yeah. So interesting here we have a raise from Forrest, but it was only to $4. So that's kind of more of a typical tournament sizing. In cash, when you raise to a 2x raise size under the gun, you're probably gonna get a lot of callers. And that is what happened. We got Chloe consistently in there, consistently in the mix. That being said, it was only $4, and $4 is nothing to Chloe. She really can just throw it around at this point. But we've got Billy with the best hand, and I do think it goes check, check, and he wins a small pot.
Hey, Johnny?
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys switch to another table? We're having technical issues on this first table.
Yep, so we're going to go ahead, and we've spent a good amount of time on table 3. We're going to catch the action on table 2 and see what's going on. So table 2 has not started dealing yet. Let's check out table 1. And unfortunately, table 1 is not online. This is, again, a work in progress. We're figuring it out, and I'm sure all these kinks will be figured out by tomorrow. But for right now, I think we're going to go back to table 3. And actually, we got Chloe with a real hand here.
Okay, Chloe goes for the limp with 4-5 suited. A perfectly reasonable hand to play, but I would say generally just coming for a raise in this format. There's no squid game involved, and so generally you want to be isolating the field. And since you're technically supposed to only play top 25-30% or so hands, you want to come in for a raise.
Yeah.
When you do play those.
Absolutely. But we've got a coin flip here. Chloe with a decent draw that she may not want to commit to with that third diamond coming out.
How much did Chloe bet on the flop?
It's actually just check.
Oh, check.
I believe it. Well, I don't know why the pot's 41. I think that we might have had a bet in
Yeah,
a bet and a
seems like it was
call.
single raise,
Yeah.
but the pot gets really big. I'm not sure if that's like a graphical error.
I'm gonna have to do a better job tracking the pot size because I
Yeah,
actually don't
me
know
too.
how it
I'll
got to
try as
41.
well. Okay, oh nice. So now you also see how everybody in the game's doing so far. They are playing 5-handed, and it seems like Forrest is up $74, Billy up 41, Ellen 17, and C8.
C8, I don't have a name on
Michael.
yet. Oh, that's
It's the
Michael.
bracelet
Okay,
winner.
okay,
It's
right. We
just
can't
about
forget
even.
Michael.
And Chloe has seen a lot of flops, but hasn't won.
Yeah, they haven't gotten her way just yet.
But it's still very early.
Yeah, and it's because we were playing 5-handed, UTG is really going to play more of a hijack range in this case. So she definitely would have been in great shape to raise that 5-4 and probably takes it down, right? If she takes a more aggressive line, she would have flopped open-ended, puts pressure. Billy probably folds the turn. So yeah, just the power of aggression and taking down pots. And I'm sure she's going to be learning more about that or applying more of that during the camp.
Yeah, it's no limit hold'em. Every player gets 2 cards. You know, most of the time, no one's gonna have much of anything. So, you know, pre-flop aggression and just continuation betting is gonna go a long way versus most fields at this stake.
I would imagine that would carry you far in this game. We haven't seen a whole lot of strong hands yet. And again, we will be streaming other tables as they come online. We'll probably give table 3 1 or 2 more hands and then move over to table 2 and see if they've started dealing yet.
This RFID technology is very cool and also very ambitious. It's, you know, some of the intricacies of the table, I think, were like kind of MacGyver last minute.
Absolutely. No, I mean, it's so impressive to have built these 3 tables in 2 days, 1 or 2 days. So interesting here, I think this just went call and check. And Chloe's flopped the best of it. I love that we even have the equity percentages. How cool is that? That is really, really cool.
As well. Is there an ante in this game?
There's no ante.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just straight up 1-2. But we've got Billy thinking he's got the best of it. I think he was betting for value there for $10 and Chloe folding her better 5. So interesting action so far. We're gonna go to table 2 and see if they've started to deal. And yeah, we've got a hand over here. This is cool. All right, so Wei and Anthony mixing it up. And Anthony's definitely got the best of it right now. We did miss the action so far. Hopefully it comes right back. Unfortunately, it seems like we've got some technical difficulties at table 2. That was a big pot brewing.
Yeah,
that was actually the biggest pot that we had seen. Oh no, and it's over.
Okay.
But we can.
Like Wei just folded the
It seems like Wei's only down $3 though.
Okay.
So wait, the chip counts must be wrong.
Maybe that wasn't the very first hand.
Yeah, maybe. But it seems like someone's already up $300 on this table. We may end up spending more time on table 2, everyone, because we've got. It seems like this is the action table so far.
It's also the deeper stack table. Most stacks are around 500.
Yeah, so this is the same game, but everyone's just chosen to buy in a little bit deeper. It doesn't surprise me. I've played a lot with Tiger at V Club. He's pretty aggressive. He runs amazing. So I wouldn't be surprised that he's going to be playing a lot of hands.
Was this a single raise pot? It might have been 3-bet. I wonder who did the 3-betting here.
I think that the action is moving so fast that we're having a hard time keeping up. We've got a reasonable open, a reasonable call on the hijack, and a bit of a splashy call on the button from Wei, but she does flop the best of it and manage to take it down. Oh, actually, she hasn't taken it down yet. She is locked in. As long as she doesn't fold her hand, she will win. But we've got Prem turning his 2s into a bluff.
Good job, Prem.
Really interesting. And what's gonna happen here? I think it looks like Wei's gonna put in the call. What do you think about his sizing for betting for half pot with his pocket deuces?
I think the turn went check 3-way, yes?
No, it went 20 call. That's how we're up to 159. And Wei lays it down. Wow. Oh, he shows the deuces. He shows the deuces. So it worked. It's very interesting. That bet size is not the one I would have chosen to get the bluff through 2 players, but he knows what he's doing. He got the bluff.
I don't blame Wei. You know, it's a bit of reverse psychology because she's probably saying, you know, this is such a value bet size.
Right. It did feel very milky, especially into 2 players. Of course, he probably wasn't targeting a king. He he that just the it just worked out in terms of his image, I think. Very cool. I like it. And I also like the awareness from Prem to just know that obviously his hand is no good and he's gonna have to either it's a give up or it's a bluff.
Yeah.
And he chose to turn it into a bluff, seeing weakness, sensing weakness.
Yeah. That makes his turn call completely justifiable.
Right, yeah. The turn call seems a bit speculative unless he's planning to take it away on a future street, and that's exactly what he did. Again, I wouldn't have chosen that sizing, but it worked. He knows his customers.
Yes.
And we just got started. Why don't you read about what do we know about Prem?
Oh, yeah, perfect. Let's see. It's so cool. In this VCamp brochure, we have many bios of every single student and instructor and the staff as well. Prem looks like he is a technology investor and former professional poker player.
Oh.
He's based out of Toronto.
Maybe he should go back to current poker player.
Johnny, table 1 should be live now.
He was also in mechatronics engineering and economics at the University of Waterloo, so he is a fellow alumni like me. Okay, looks like he has quite the impressive bio as well, launching a 25 million investment vehicle.
Very impressive. And after this hand, we're gonna go to table 1, which appears to have just come online, and we'll see how that game is going. But so far, this has been pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
And we definitely saw some of Prem's expertise coming with that awareness, knowing to bluff his deuces. So tell me a little bit more about what you know about your campers on this table, Schwan.
Well, we have 3 women at this table who are part of my cohort. We have Wei Song. She started playing poker about 3 years ago, and I've actually known her since basically, the first couple of months since she started playing. We have a good mutual friend, Sashimi, who actually, one day when Wei was visiting Vegas, Sashimi saw this cute girl who was half drunk and naturally invited her.
Is that the origin story?
Yes. Sit with her at the poker game, and the rest is all history.
Wow.
And Wei is now semi-regular in some.
She's very
games.
animated too.
I know, has to stream. She's super bubbly, sweet human being. She's also a killer real estate agent based out of Seattle.
That is awesome. She also shared with me that she, I think, hosts a poker tournament every year, or a poker game every year. So we're gonna move to table 1 now, which has just come online. And what do we see with this table? We're also playing 1-2. We've got Daniel B that bought in for over 1K. So that's interesting.
Is that allowed?
And everyone bought in for 500. I mean, we may have already had a double up. So I'm guessing that we might have already had a double up here. We will go back to table 2, and I'd love to hear more about your other campers, but interesting, this might be the biggest game, looking at the fact that we've got everyone buying in at 500, one person's already doubled up. Let's have some interesting action here. So let's see, I think that I saw that June is on table 1. What can you tell us about June so far? I know that you haven't gotten to know everyone too well yet.
I met June today, and she's super sweet as well. Let me just find her bio so I don't make any mistakes. But she also went to the University of Waterloo, actually, and she has experience with startups and tech companies, and is currently building AI agents for customer support.
We've got an all-in and a call, I think. So I'm gonna pause you on that one. We've got an all-in and a call, and now I see how we're getting some double ups on this table. We had Michael Baker, I believe, put in the 4-bet with the ace queen, and then John ripped it with the pocket queens, and then Michael called. He may have been priced in at that point. Ace queen off is not a hand you want to be calling off 5 bets with, but it seemed like he didn't have a whole lot of money left, so that would kind of make sense. We do expect him to get felted here most of the time. It's an unfortunate hand to be up against.
history or, yeah, generally if you're in position, you could just be, flatting a lot of those three bets, but not the end of the world.
Can you
If
bring
you
me
think
water?
you have
Flash your table.
a read of some sort, and obviously big blind versus cutoff ranges should be pretty loose.
Yeah, and I think that we're just gonna see some players getting after it, kind of maybe setting a tone for the camp. They just sat down. Imagine you just sat down. You pick up pocket. I mean, Ace Queen O. You get four bet. You might think that your opponent is getting out of line. It's these players aren't looking to fold Ace Queen 500 $500 deep, but it may be the best choice when you're up against that tight four bet range.
Yeah, it does look like John Yipma is a full-time MTT poker pro for the last 4 years, and he splits his time between 70% online and 30% live. And maybe if his opponent knew that, they might think he's more willing to put in chips light in this spot.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That image might be working for him when he comes in for a raise. You're looking down at Ace Queen and you're thinking, this guy's a pro. Maybe he's getting on the line with pocket sevens or something. Maybe this is a flip. I've already got 2/3 of my money in or half of my money in. So yeah, a little bit of an unfortunate hand for him to run into, but it's still early in the camp. But yeah, interesting to see that we've got two players on this table with over 1K already in a 1-2 game. So this might get spicy later on in the night as chip stacks continue to build. Also want to give credit to our dealers and staff tonight. There's a lot of people making this happen. Right now we've got Didi dealing on table one. He's put in a ton of work to make this camp happen, and he's going to be full-time dealing the next few days. And it's just great to have these professional and helpful staff really helping to put this together and make sure that the camp runs smoothly.
Yeah, there's such a good support system. Everything seems super well organized. Have you been to VCamp every year since inception?
I've been every year since its inception, so I really have a cool perspective, having seen it kind of grow up. We've never been in a space this awesome before. As you guys can see, there's quite an interesting background behind Didi. We are currently in a Vegas mansion. We've turned into a poker boot camp. Oh, and we've got interesting. So we had a raise from the small blind and a jam in the big blind with ace king off and a fold. So people really, the big blind going for a raise is reasonable. The jam is not what I would have expected because he was jamming 520. Oh, it was just a 3-bet?
I think they're backtracking the action.
Oh.
Oh, there's a 4-bet. It was spicy.
Oh, interesting. Oh, and then he jammed, and then Riley jammed, and then I believe John folded. So that makes sense. So actually, that does show that John is willing to go after it because he was putting in the 4-bet with the king jack.
Yeah, generally I wouldn't put the king jack suited into the category to 4-bet fold.
Right. That's just has a lot of equity. And yeah, but it's definitely not. It definitely happens quite a bit, right? It's not maybe. Not everyone's going to have the same viewpoint on that, but there are definitely a lot of charts that would put king jack suited into a 4-bet, depending on configuration, depending on stack depth. What's really nice is more of like a 4-bet jam, right? If you're in a position to really close the action and put your opponent to the test, then that would make a bit more sense.
He made the perfect laydown. He wasn't against ace king.
Right,
with
absolutely.
Ace of hearts, so.
Yeah. So well played from both. A bit, a bit aggressive. John showing he's willing to get after it, and then his opponent laying down the hammer with the ace king, saying no more of this nonsense. So now we've seen all three tables, and I think that we can start rotating through. Let's actually get a view. We should have a view online of all the tables at the same time, which is really cool. This might give us commentary schizophrenia to see all these tables going at once, but pretty cool. And I think what we can do is we'll hang out with this viewpoint for a while, and then we'll zoom in on a spot that we think is interesting. I think that might be a cool way to approach this. I did see that Chloe just picked up pocket fours, and right before the stream cut off, there we go. Oh no, I guess that hand ended already. But yeah, I think that this is a very cool way to kind of triage and see what's going on and zoom in on the interesting hands that are taking place. We definitely do see that table 3 decided to play smaller tonight, but forced with the pocket aces. So let's zoom in on table 3. I feel like this one's gonna get interesting because we've got hands that can continue. Yeah, we've already got a 3-bet and a call. I'm guessing that Michael called the small blind or is planning to call.
Michael flatted the initial raise.
And he folds. That's a very prudent fold from Michael. It's so tempting to call with his suited ace. But, I wonder if he has a read or if he's just disciplined. I'm not really sure. It's so tempting to call there with the pot odds that you're getting. You might just have a read that Forrest is not 3-betting light.
Definitely possible. Looks like...
Oh, there we go. So we got the 10-9-3, Forrest checks first to act, and actually induces Billy to bet with his queen 8. And that's going to be a bet and a call. And I think Billy's going to have to continue on this card. He's going to have to keep telling a story and put Forrest into a tough spot. Obviously, we see that he has the ace of spades, so it's actually going to be should be an easy call. And actually, Forrest decides to just lead out on the 7 of spades. What's going on, Schwan?
I'm not sure if this is smoked or approved. I'm sure it's like fine with the ace of spades.
Yeah.
The pot's 150 now. He only has 190 SPR, $190 left, so just over 1 SPR. So it can't be that bad if he's hoping for like a cheap river card and potential showdown. There are just a lot of weird cards on the river that might put him in a tough situation.
Yeah, I do see that as potentially trying to buy himself a cheap street. It looks like he will be putting in the call here and winning a nice sized pot with his 2-pair. It actually worked. It worked out nicely for him that his opponent showed up with absolutely nothing and had to bluff. I would have liked to see him go for all of it, just because that's a really strong hand on that board, and I think that he could be called by a lot of worse hands, but he does very well for himself and drags in a nice pot. Very cool. So let's go back out to the action and see what else we have developing. We've got Anthony with pocket aces. This is gonna be fun. I think we're gonna have a fun night here, just tracking aces.
Aces tracker.
Yeah, the aces tracker, and we've got Way getting spicy with the suited connector 3-bet.
I want to see the rest of this hand.
I definitely want to see it. I think Way undersells herself a little bit. So I was chatting with Way before the cash game, and she was saying that she's a very beginner poker player, and I had a hard time believing that. And what? I'm so disappointed. What just happened? I'm guessing for that hand to have passed so quickly, I'm guessing that a 4-bet with pocket aces and a fold must have happened. Yeah, which would be smart.
But, yeah. depending on the size of the 4-bet, maybe she could call to see
Right.
as well.
Depending on her stack depth. She's not playing with that much behind, so
That's true.
pretty reasonable that she wouldn't be able to withstand 4-bet. But she does have the best of it here. But anyway, yeah, I think Wei is probably, you've played with her a lot, so I'm guessing she's a fairly capable player.
Not a lot. I mean, she has a good poker mind. Like she gets it. She has the critical thinking skills, but she has a full-time job and she plays poker recreationally for fun, and she likes to drink at the table, and splash around and make everybody happy and tell jokes.
Yeah, I have gotten that impression already.
Yeah, so I think she is a little intimidated by some of the more serious aspects of like poker culture and education and the vernacular that's used.
Yes, that would make sense. That tracks. Yeah, but clearly, I mean, reasonable pre-flop action on that other hand, and knowing when to get out of the way when she doesn't have the right odds to call. Even if she doesn't know the math exactly, she, again, we're speculating, but I'm guessing she just knew she didn't have the stack depth to continue.
Yeah.
So let's zoom out again and see, does anyone else have pocket aces? And actually something that the viewers might want to know is that not only has Victor set up 3 RFID tables with 3 streams, a commentary booth, but each of the tables has different views too. So we're actually not in charge of the views. All we can do on our end is we can just navigate from table to table, but we've got action trackers at each table that are constantly inputting the action, or not inputting because that's what the card readers do, but tracking the action, and then also tracking the camera views as well, which is really sweet. So really professional setup that was just set up today in this rented Vegas mansion.
That, I guess table 1 has sort of like a Mediterranean feel to it, like an Italian villa.
It does feel relaxing. Like if I was tilted, I would just breathe, take a deep breath, look at the waterfall behind you.
Big window.
Yeah. There are fake skylights here as well in one of the master bedrooms. There's a very large fake skylight, which is quite charming. Let's go ahead and look at table 1 here with the hand developing. We've got Amanda, who's actually an Andrew's cohort. She is I believe a 1-3 and 2-5 reg in Austin, Texas. She plays at the Lodge, and she correctly folds to the Ace-Jack 3-bet. She correctly folds her Ace-10, which I would expect her to do. It sounds like she has a lot of experience. She was speaking, when we were doing her intros earlier, she was talking about how she balances her image as a woman in poker and uses it to her advantage. She's very self-aware with that. She's talking about how she's like in a juicy big O game, which if she's playing big O private, like she kind of knows what she's doing. I'm guessing in No Limit.
And
So
I'm very impressed also, I have my own women's cohort, but Amanda is actually one of the only students here who went into the co-ed tracks that's run by Andrew. And she, she explained to me she had a tough time deciding which one she wanted to go with, but because Andrew also lives in Austin and she had rapport with him, so it seemed to make more sense. And, I would never hold that against anybody. Like, obviously, I want, as women as possible to join VCamp.
yeah.
It doesn't have to be in the women's exclusive camp.
Oh, I actually didn't have that background, but that makes a lot of sense. And I will say it's nice to have her energy in the Annie Andrews cohort. I think that she's going to be a really cool presence there. And we had an interesting hand developing. Unfortunately, I don't know what Solu's action is, but I do believe he 3-bet to some amount and he correctly folds his Ace-10 when he's behind.
Well played by both.
Yeah, well played by both. And again, we've seen that this table's a bit more able to get after it, right? We saw a 4-bet with King-Jack suited, a 4-bet with Ace-Jack off. So maybe not a crazy idea to 5-bet the Ace-Queen off, right? When you see that kind of action developing, maybe he just knew that it's gonna be that kind of night where you have to kind of put up your flag and not get bullied around. We definitely haven't seen, the players in this table don't need to have the nuts in order to put in a lot of money pre-flop. So let's zoom out. What else do we got going on here?
I think you guys sub out.
All right. That's it for me tonight, guys.
Well, Schwan, it was a pleasure co-commentating with you tonight. Your insight was invaluable. I'm looking forward to night 2.
Thank you, guys. I will be back tomorrow. Here is Chris Brewer.
I'll let you out.
And we are now joined by none other than the Chris Brewer.
I don't know if I dissolved the.
So Chris, we've got a really sweet setup tonight.
Oh wow, we get all 3 at once.
We've got all 3 tables. Not only do we have 3 RFID tables, we have 3 streams, and we have the ability to kind of navigate through the different tables as the action develops. So we actually had situations where like 2 tables picked up pocket aces in a row, and we were able to track what was going on. And this has allowed us to kind of track the biggest pots as they develop. So I'm curious, Chris, did you get to actually see any of these hands?
I saw some of them live. I was walking around. I can see the RFID on some of them too.
With the action trackers there.
I can go check.
Yeah.
So I was able to see some of what was going on.
We had some interesting action on table 1. So we had.
Which one's 1?
So table 1 is the one with the Mediterranean background.
Okay, So that was the pocket 10s hand with the guy with the ace queen out. That was check 7.
Oh, sure, yes. But we also had ace queen O put in a 5-bet all in and get called by pocket queens.
Okay.
We had king jack suited put in a 4-bet.
I saw that.
And we had ace jack off put in a 4-bet. So
we've had a lot of full bets. I didn't like the king jack suited full bet.
Right, because you don't want to be 4-bet folding.
Yeah, I think it's like an EP versus EP idea, and there's definitely not a
but that was a blind versus blind
idea.
So, but Chris, for the viewers, maybe just introduce yourself a little bit, because you just jumped in.
Yeah. I'm Chris Brewer. I've been playing professionally now for 10 years or so. I am known, I guess, for specializing in high-stakes tournaments, but kind of just play everything. I had a long background as a live cash player, play a lot of mixed games nowadays, and yeah, I'm excited to be coaching and be doing this. This is a pretty fun setup.
This is a really fun setup. And also for additional context, everyone, Chris was one of the coaches last year as well.
I was.
And awesome. It's just great to hear from his insight. He's obviously got deep, profound knowledge of the game. He's got a lot of mathematical insight. He's going to be doing some really interesting modules with his camp this weekend that are going to deal with kind of like the mathematical modeling of how we think about poker. He's leading the Open Advanced track. But yeah, great to have you here, Chris. And I might, I might not be here the whole night. I might step out and have a student, but I'm happy to co-commentate with you for a little bit.
Sounds good. Yeah, one thing I've been noticing as I was walking around and stuff is a lot of very loose passive pre-flop play. So hopefully we can
clean that up.
Yeah, hopefully we clean that up as the nights go on.
Yeah.
I do think people are kind of excited to come play and gamble.
And I was sharing with Schwan earlier that there may be like that extra incentive to come into a hand cheaply, knowing that your hand's going to get commented by professionals, right? Like
I think there's a lot of excitement.
Yeah, there's a lot of excitement. People are starting off a little splashy.
We got this king 7-8-7. So, we lost the stream. That's what we got.
We lost the stream, but it should be coming right back. Got some noise going on. And unfortunately, well, there we go.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
All right, they're all coming back.
So we've got a decent sized pot on table 1. So again, table 1, they all bought in for 500. We've got 2 stacks over 1,000 already because we had some early double ups, and they've been getting after it. So we've got a $678 pot.
Check jam deal.
That's a wow. That's
I
a nice
don't.
play.
I don't love it. It's yeah. I think it's a pretty thin rep. Like, you're from the big blind, you're going to be pretty aggressive on 7-5-4. I mean, you're not even play leads. It's like some single ace pot, I assume. And so, like, it's so unlikely that you're going to trap 8-6 or 6-3.
Yeah.
So, like, now you're arriving removal. You're playing basically with your aces up. That's like the entire claim. That's like the entire value region is aces up.
300.
Obviously that does exist. Ace 7 is a real hand. So
Thank you very much, Sully.
whenever you have a value hand, you do have some bluff to match with it. But I don't actually. I mean, the 7 of diamonds isn't the right combo for what he doesn't want to do it. You'd want to have something blocking ace 7 suited, because that'd be the way that he has aces up most likely. Or you would want a 7 that blocks.
Hear me?
I
You
also
hear me,
do
Victor?
love. I also do
Blinds
love
out,
the
s'il vous plaît.
PR. He bet
Oh, now I
less
can't
than a
make
pot
dirty
size
jokes
bet,
'cause he can
all
hear me
in as a
very
bluff.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
you're betting into
See me-
two
oh.
cards that you favor your opponent. Turn
Hello,
and river
stream.
For both.
well, you check all the
Okay.
problem and then check jam as well.
Right.
watch?
Totally. I'm just saying that it's an
Sully, you
ambitious
first
all-in.
Yeah, I
Against
mean,
a strong range of his opponent's holdings that should have a lot of aces. In
It's a fold.
yeah,
Fold.
it's I mean, like I said, you just
Open to
raised it
15,
up. It's
raise
a
15, my
limited
bad.
value range, and like they're not jamming from us.
Out of there.
So just like if let's say you have
Fold. Fold.
every combo of ace
Opposite of
7,
you.
so you have 9 combos,
Fold.
and you have
Takes it down.
I don't know, you might not even keep ace 5 in the combo. Let's say you do. So let's say you have all 9 combos of that. You have 18 total value combos, assuming the guy doesn't hold an ace. And you're jamming for
No,
like
Amanda.
half all.
Right.
The guy needs 25. Like you're only allowed to have like 4.5 bluff combos. I mean, maybe it's balanced, but like
And
it's you have just a small problem. You have so little value. You have to be so careful.
And this is exactly what I was talking about in terms of Chris's mathematical perspective. Like in 30 seconds, he elucidated us
My
that,
head was ready for field.
Riley should have only had
Open at 15.
4.5 bluff combos in that situation. And that's the kind of math that you want all your students to be able to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay if they're not quite as quick.
That's a raise to 40.
Played for a long time at this point, but
So we had an interesting hand developing here.
I think this is just a good bet. Normally full bet.
Yeah.
Man, this is a really gross spot for ace king. This is like really tight positions.
Upstairs to 115. Fold.
I would never play flats. So
All
like,
in has been announced.
25 that'll fold, so he just instantly jams. But I actually think this is a really dicey spot. You're against two really
Fold.
tight ranges.
Call.
I mean, the low jack range isn't that tight. Let's call it like a 6% 3-bet range or something.
Okay,
Like,
ace
it's
king
like
versus king.
a 3 to
Twice.
3%.
Going through it. Twice.
Range.
Nah?
Twice.
Twice.
Then you have to fade
Two
both
times.
of them. Also, like pace of play. Like the big one, the small blind, full bet within.
Okay,
10
first blow goes to
seconds
ace
now, The
king.
action being on them, like I don't know. Maybe he's
Well, he gets there on the first run. It's interesting.
Chop it up.
obviously. I'm not saying that I think you won both based on the list. No, he's not chopped it. He just put his chips out that you won both. Yeah, and obviously I'm not trying to say that
25 from you?
like jamming ace
25
king
in
is
red,
bad.
so
I think
make it
it's
less
understandable, but I think as you get into these EP, and then someone core full bets, ranges get tight really quick. There's no ante.
You have what, $7, $10
Putting-
in investment.
Sorry, putting you through it
Yeah, do you
today.
think you're sticking your AK in the month?
Ace king, no, I
Got him there.
don't know what ace king is.
All the way at the river. Never
I think ace
easy.
king is really close. My guess is it's supposed to be a bluff. So, like,
I
it's
was
supposed to
almost
be
sure the ace was coming on the flop on the second board.
fold. Especially if you do that. I don't think it's field jam. I think if you field jam it, it's probably a mistake.
Yeah.
I don't think the play itself is a mistake, but I would I would have viewed that as a much
Okay.
close
Small
sold
blind.
consolidated spot than sorry, I think it's Bagel did.
Right, and I'm not sure exactly what was in Baker's mind. Maybe
okay.
maybe as he
I'm not
jammed it
sure.
was
Oh,
a
yeah.
bluff.
That's
Maybe that was a bluff, and he was just trying to look strong.
I
It's
think
3
he had
hours.
ace and the king was all in, which is fine. That's a generally good way to play poker. To be
Right.
honest. You know, an ace and the king
Fold.
and just get all in. But I think as you get like I said, it's the under the gun dynamic that really makes it so close. If that was like a cutoff open, I would say incredibly easy jam.
No, the fact that they're six-handed, does that make it an easier
Calls 3,
decision
just for me.
I mean, I think they'll
Check.
six. I think they were 7. I
Maybe
think
they
they were
were
7-handed. But
yeah.
Heads up.
I don't think short-handed.
Check.
It's still just a low jack open. I mean, if it was
That's
6-handed, it was 7. But if it was 6, it'd still be a low
Check.
jack open, hijack 3 bet. It would still be quite a dicey spot.
Yeah,
Check.
makes sense to me. So yeah, we got some. That was a really interesting spot.
You were right.
developing,
You
even
would've
though it was
won.
just pre-flop, but really shows you the impact of position, tight configuration of EP versus EP, which is a very quick four-point.
I do think timing's battle though. Maybe someone just knows the range 100% of the time.
Yeah.
But like, if I was at the table, I also think like how quickly they like I think it's important to pay attention to when people peel their calls as well as the live
cards are
poker goes. So
slippery
like, if
and
the guy
rough,
peels his
'cause they're
calls,
thicker, they cut
and
into my
it looks up, sees the action, and
Need a
just
little
calls back
rubber
immediately.
thingies.
I mean, I don't know, man. If you look at ace 5 suited or ace 10 suited or whatever you're bluffing with and all that quick and sure about it, if you can tail that little about what the action is, like, congrats, you're a savage. But
Folds.
the average person, if they look at their calls and instantly put a full bet in, they looked at a hand that didn't care what the action was, and that's what they told
That is
you.
so true. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen someone do that with ace five suited.
Yeah, I mean, like people think. The funny thing is, it's also usually not
15.
aces. It's usually exactly kings.
Calls
and queens.
15. Heads up, 2 players.
It's like if they have aces, a lot of times they call away with it. It's like a funny thing. It's like this. But I do think just paying attention. I think the most consistent thing you can get read-wise from every pulse in every single game, online or live, is timings.
10.
I think people really struggle to
Call
balance
10.
timings. And I don't think this means that you have to play super slow, but I think all spots that you have to consider if you would actually think with something.
Absolutely.
There's enough. Like if I want to play home game with friends or like if I'm hosting,
Check.
because nothing's happening in the city, it's a little bit more.
Heads up to the river.
Yep, so we've got table 3 down for the moment,
Check.
but hopefully they'll be coming back
Ace
online.
high.
Now table 3 has been playing a
There it
little
is.
bit smaller. They bought in for I believe $200 to $300 each, so we have seen the pots be a little bit smaller, but a lot of interesting spots either way. I've seen some of the looser pre-flop action also happening on table 3, so it'll be interesting to see when they come back online.
I mean, especially if you don't interpret.
So Chris, what can you,
so
I'm
that-
not sure how much you know
second-
about your campers yet, but who on table 1 was zooming in is going to be part of your cohort this
I
weekend?
mean, I have I think Solly, Bagel, Mike, and
Some places I don't,
John. I think I have 4 players on this
had to
table.
let
So
me-
this is
Yeah, it makes
doesn't
sense
matter,
when this
because
is
it's full.
it's playing bigger and
It
It doesn't matter who the dealer is, but I
yeah.
opened
I'll
to
probably
15.
be in a lot of these
Since
smaller
I
sets, so many people in the
since I was
group.
too much of an action dealer, they
Yeah, that would make sense.
fold.
I really dislike this
But the thing
10-9
is,
suited
I'm
fold
just
on the
putting out
gun.
cards. Call 15.
10-9 suited
heads up,
is like
actually.
a top 15% hand or something. Like even in really tight ranges, it gets into the open.
Check.
Maybe not top 15, maybe it's top 17, but I think it's a really clear open.
Bet 10.
I think Queen 8 suited is fine.
All's
I
10.
don't have an opinion either way.
To the
I think
turn.
I'd probably fold it, but I would definitely open Queen 9 suited, so like a pip off in a suited range, it's not a big deal. But I do
Yeah.
think the 10-9 suited is like actually a big deal, and not really an okay fold.
Who was it that folded again? Did you track?
I think it was you.
Oh yeah, June. Okay, so that would be interesting to share with Schwan, who's
Yeah.
your coach. That seems like a bit tight.
I mean, I will say this.
Check.
It's always better to be too tight than too loose.
Sure.
So like, too tight mistakes are generally not a big deal, but I do think that is just leaving money on the table with a fairly solid hand. And I think those are important to notice the difference between like 10-9 suited and like 8-7 suited. Like if she folded 8-7 suited or 9-8 suited, I would just say good fold.
Right.
But I think 10-9 suited is like quite a bit better.
Right. Yeah. You're not gonna get cooler with 10-9 as often
I
as
would,
you are with.
I would be honest, I would open every suit
25
connector, but some of them will actually like all legitimately mixed folds, and like they all like in theory
Call.
indifferent. 10-9 suit is not the one.
Shows trip queens.
And a very
4 high flush.
very interesting run out where it kind of, you know, John was behind, then Amanda.
He bluffed the middle. He bet half on the one position.
Thank you very much.
I am not sure what that actually.
I think that was value
I mean, it can't be value. You're in position with.
without a club.
I mean, I don't know the exact action. I guess if it checked down, it could be a value bet. But
It had. It was very
Off the
cheap.
top of
Amanda
your
had
front
did it
rail,
very
so-
it was
passively.
$50 in there, so it can't have been checked down. It went open, call.
How a while ago we talking
Well,
about?
Must have not
he bet the flop. Amanda called with her
And
ace.
he bet the tall.
And I think he should check. What?
Oh.
Well, actually, but he.
Those $50 in the pot, I think he had to have bet the tall.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I mean, it seems like he
I forgot I'm
bluffed it off on the middle. I
Yeah,
think.
not. But that's a strange bluff size.
I mean, it's not even about the size.
15.
It's a strange hand, right? Like,
Like, why would you put trips into your
Fold.
bluffing range? You could
yeah,
just
I
sit
mean,
back.
it just wins a lot.
Yeah.
And a flush should never fold to half off. So
Right.
what are we doing?
Raise 40.
Can't we miss the action or something that's small?
Possibly.
Seat
The
2.
way it looked.
Folds.
I would like to try to get some other tables. I feel bad that we're only commentating this one so far.
Yeah, we'll zoom out. We do have a, we'll probably watch this
Okay, we
hand
watch
and then
this
zoom
one. I would
out.
like to try to give all the Campbell some.
Yeah, absolutely.
45.
So we've got a 3-bet.
You.
Michael Baker correctly,
Your phone was.
prudently folding his pocket threes.
Listen, anything. If he did anything else, I would not be a fan of the play. This 7-6-0, I cannot be in support of. I think people undervalue being out of position in 2
Thank
players.
you very much.
Oh.
Check.
Yeah, like this, I mean,
She flops the world.
she flops the joint, but
Check.
The world,
not
not the joint.
3 ways to the turn.
But yeah, I would play no calls and to begin with. I would fold out or fold the small blind. The range I'm playing is gonna be very tight. I mean, we're talking something like 10s plus, ace queen suited, maybe I have a king queen suited or like an ace jack suited and that was like my bluff.
Now, it's interesting. I do believe we have the action wrong or something because Amanda doesn't have cards in front of her, but it's saying that she won this game.
Okay, that makes sense. That she did not call pre. That makes a lot more
I think that
sense.
they just didn't fold her hand.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
not showing
that makes more sense.
Yeah.
My hands hurt.
So
Who do you
The
want?
bet is 35.
you guys choose.
Why don't you pick and then also-
Yep.
So we're going to be pulling up one of Chris's campers to commentate, which I think will be interesting. Maybe.
Fold.
Yeah, they just got the action wrong, because this guy, he bet
Shows queen high.
45 with queen
Shows
jack.
pocket 3.
No. She had 7-6. This hand's correct. And then he bluffed.
Unbelievable.
He bluffed and she called. Oh wait,
Because I don't see her with cards. Amanda's right here on the right.
but ace king point and yeah, you're right. Okay, sorry. The action was just confusing, you know.
So let's go back to the tables. See what's going on. For those of you that are watching, we might have a bit of an echo, so sorry about that.
I'd be happy. I think do it all on right? You guys can draw for a high. I don't want to. Okay, don't want to.
That's another thing. Table 1 game has been consistent.
Yeah, the other tables keep dying. I mean, we do what we can.
Yeah, we do. Exactly.
We're working on some new technology here, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I've never seen a stream actually do this. It's just quite cool.
This is really cool. So we have
This should be a really fun way to watch a tournament, to be honest.
Okay, so
That if you actually had a tournament where you
No,
could
just cash them
multi-table
out.
view.
remove him as a player.
absolutely.
That'd be
And
great.
then you could have the commentator zooming in.
He's gonna be
It would
commentating
make
on
the
Booth
bubble
and
so
Chris,
much better.
so I'm gonna remove him as a
I
player.
mean, the bubble's still a little slow
So I'm gonna remove him as a
sometimes, but
player.
it would be a lot better.
I mean, this
Big blind too. I
Just
know.
sick.
tournament
Okay.
Yeah.
reviewable.
No, this is
Zooped it.
great.
Okay, you removed him, right?
Good, yeah.
Good. Good luck, you guys. You're big blind now.
Cool. So
Yeah,
everyone,
double
I'm gonna be
second
subbing
loss.
out. I may not be back tonight. I'll possibly might join for another stream. But Chris, thanks for co-commentating. And
problem.
we're gonna be subbing in
Folds.
one of our campers. So I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Folds.
The mic is right there.
All right. So I'll just go ahead and do the handoff
15 now.
here. What's your name?
John.
You're
15.
John Ipma.
Yep.
Ipma.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great.
Fold, fold. Call 15. The big blind calls 15. C9 calls 15. Three ways.
Four bet fold,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
Check.
I think Chris will have some comments about that. But yeah, your table is getting after it. So we're definitely interested to hear from
30 is the bet.
you. Go ahead and take it away, guys. Just remember if you want to switch tables,
Yeah, I got it.
buttons that you need.
I might stick to the
Folds.
multi-table
Heads
view.
up. Two players.
Quite like
And
it.
then just zoom in when it gets interesting.
Yeah. Very good. Zoom in when it gets interesting. What do we got going on? We got King 6 of clubs.
60 now.
Just jamming the tone. Alright, they have jammed for $200 into 73. It looks like.
Oh, there's 3 tables at once. This is all of our tables.
Yeah.
Sick.
I think this is table 3. Yeah, it is. Alright. So I mean, I wish I knew the action before this. My guess is we went open call or open 3-bet. I feel like open call because there's always, well, no, it must have gone open 3-bet, right? Because there's $73 in the pot, which is a pretty decent amount of big blinds for the tone.
Yeah, probably just see a bet call.
And then just power jam the tone. Pads would be proud. So these spots are kind of funny. I probably wouldn't fold 6-5. It's easy for me to seeing the stream, but like 6-5 is a spot. If the Bolson's ever bluffing, you're obviously way ahead. If the Bolson's ever not bluffing, you still have 8 plus all your payouts, right? Like you realistically, worst case scenario 40%, and best case scenario 80% plus. It's just a good type of hand to call. Like I would rather call this hand than I would call like I'd rather call 6-5 suited than like pocket, than like ace-7 or even like queen 9-0. I think is a way tougher spot, right? Because like this hand just has such robust equity.
Right, I guess, yeah, like it's more important when this definitely feels, at least in my perspective, like I would not feel like.
Oh, I mean, I would think the Bolson probably is jacks or whatever. So like, but like if they all bluffing, this hand has like just as much equity as like a 9. The only issue, right, like where a 9 could be quote better is like if you think the Bolson has ace-9.
Yeah.
But like, I wouldn't let 6-5 suited go. I don't think it's. I understand it, right? Like but it's a crazy line, and I don't have any like. I would never blame someone for folding middle pair for 2.5x pot, but that's the type of hand like I would quote unquote keep them honest with because the penalty for being wrong is not even that high. Like you still have a bunch of equity.
Here's the thing about the king 6, like I would never default like power jam the king 6, but like I mean if you're getting them to massively
But it
overfold,
doesn't
maybe
show until
there's some sort of meta there.
folds.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously want a bunch of equity. I think like the thing is even though the jam's huge, right? Like it's 2.5x pot, so you need like 42% equity or something to call.
Yeah. Are we losing our other streams?
Yeah, it looks like we only have one stream right now, so we all hope they come back soon. But yeah, like you just with the pot odds with a hand that at the minimum probably has. I mean, listen, if the guy jams a straight all set, congratulations. But I would really be surprised to see something that wasn't one pay all bluff fail.
Yeah, it's more just like vulnerable and maybe it comes from
Or
like,
just like
I don't want to get outdrawn and
Or
stuff.
just it's a desperation bluff. I also think that like decent spot too. I mean, obviously a spot will be dependent. Some guys will be much stronger or much weaker there. Alright, we got all the tables back. Alright, Johnny has gone straight from the booth and he's been dealt 10-9 suited.
He's on the table now?
Yeah, he's right on in now.
So I'm sprinting off.
Alright,
15.
no one should be so we'll move
Fold.
on.
Fold. Fold.
I mean, I hope so.
Fold. Winner.
And I'm standing there, it's totally
Thanks,
empty,
Ollie.
and this guy comes walking up the ramp. He's
Just to
going
go
up.
open.
Yeah, my bag
Yeah,
is
we
on
just started the day opening at 15 and you're stuck. That's what we're
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opening that big.
And I said, the whole
But
system's.
when people are opening that big,
And you let that one.
I would play very little calling ranges. I would basically play battle full, and I would just be continuing pretty tight. They're risking a lot of money to win very little, so you don't have to do much besides play good hands.
So even after like the precedent is set and like everyone's comfortable facing that size, they don't feel like any sort of pressure. You still feel like you wouldn't want to just open 15 yourself and
15 now.
basically just get more money.
Fold.
Listen, if everyone's going to make bad, like if people are going to make a bunch of bad calls to a big size, and I can play like a big size in a tight range,
Call
sure,
15.
sounds like a good idea. But
Oh, really? There's so much.
I mean, the amount of tight you actually need to open in a theoretical sense when you're opening 7.5x is you'd play an extremely few amount of hands theoretically. I understand that maybe you can get away with it, but like it also like the SPLs begin to get so shallow in some spots. Like some hands begin to not even play that amazing against some of the suited hands. But mostly, I would probably just
I chose
open smallish. I also think that if you just open to like 6 calls, which is still a 3x open, you're going to see people calling as if like you're making insane calls because it's only 6 calls. So I don't even know if it's Cleo that Biggles Battle.
I don't know why it says our table is 1-2. We're the
Dead zone.
Yeah, I think it's just like a lot of the blind stuff. What's going on in this
Michael Weiss.
15. Fold. Fold.
Check flop and bet Tom. Something.
Call 15.
10-9-2.
Two players.
Someone did have King Jack suit. I was wrong. That hand was barely not done. And we all in a pretty large pot, betting a pretty big amount of money.
Check.
What in the world has happened here?
Bet 10. Now bet 10. Call 10. Turn.
Two of them, correct, yeah.
So he was value betting the river? Looked like?
He definitely got you that, and he got called.
Oh my goodness, he got called.
Yeah, it's an interesting hand. I would guess I went open 3-bet, C-bet call, check, and then he value bet the river. Seems pretty well played by him. I think calling what you do call with some ace highs in a node like that. I think there's quite a big difference between ace and king high, and I think having a jack is not great on a queen 9x board. But I don't know the action well enough to give too much opinion.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I had a bunch of books.
So Dan's betting 40?
Pure weight.
Well, I was
Yeah, I
taking
mean,
back to Bangkok with
This looks like we have shown up with a really loose hand in the hijack. I'm not exactly sure what happened here.
so I ended up going over the trash can and throwing
It's
everything.
interesting because I feel like Dan had seemingly been pretty solid, and then all of a sudden we have King 6-0 in the hijack.
The way it is on international play, it's not like it is.
I like the bluff. I think I would bluff if I got the post, but I think the off ID might be off there a little, because it looked like Solly took the pot in, so I'm not sure. I do see pocket kings though, and I see a Jack 10 off flat against the EP open. I don't love that. Yeah, so we got 12x open, and we're peeling a hand that folds to a 2.5x open. This call pre is going to be losing multitudes of big blinds.
We're too booked up to
I don't want to be overly critical on people pre, but it's really hard to no matter how good you are at vocal, you can only make up for having a weaker range so often.
Cargo hold.
And like a hand like Jack 10 against an early position open.
For a couple open-ended boards.
Oh, if you're last, then you're the first to get.
I mean, you just don't have equity, right? Like an EP open, even the bottom of the range, like the bottom of the range from an EP open is ace 10 off, king jack O, king 10 O. It's a bunch of hands that you have 25% equity against. Like,
Well, I mean, you also made it 25
well,
free to be reading. To like,
15
what
now.
does that mean? Certain things?
well, we've gotten all in. Oh, you flopped a jack. And it looks like you're going with a 10 on a jack. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're like really deep and there's like a big blind ante, Jack 10 will do a teeny bit of flatting on exactly the button against like a 2.5x open.
2 players.
But that's a pretty unique situation. Anything that you're facing big opens or you're shallow, Jack 10 is not playing against an EP open. Let's see, we got this other table right here. I think this is table 3. No, 2, sorry. Nope, 1. And we lost it. I have lost all the tables. There we go, it's coming back. So I wanted to, yeah, it is table 1. I wanted to look at this one. So we have ace 10 out. There you go.
All in. Fold.
I mean, she has chance for value. It just seems like a pretty good play, and it looks like Riley's half folded.
Yeah,
Not sure. Not sure the exact action. I'm trying to keep track, but it's a lot of tables.
looks like we got Ellen in the pot.
Yeah, Mike has a flush.
Fold.
So she got 10 and got raised 50.
Yeah, it seems like she bet 10.
That's when I'm flying back to
Fold. Ace 50.
I guess you just gotta pass this, unless there's
15.
no presumed bluff, you just gotta pass it up and realize that equity.
Fold. Fold.
I mean, she's in a wheel spot, right? Because it's like, she only has 114.
Oh.
I do generally agree she needs to
Give me a
continue,
quick break.
but
Yeah, quick break, yeah. Okay, quick dealer change. I'm gonna take a quick break.
I think that she should continue, but I
Thank you very much.
also
Huh? Oh, Mike. Okay.
I wish I knew the action though. I have a feeling that we might have put out a tall bet that we don't want to put out, but I don't know exactly. And it looks like we jammed the Vival after. I don't like this. It looks like we went check call and then we jammed the Vival and we missed.
Yeah, I think that's like,
It doesn't really make sense.
I wonder if it's just like rooted in, I don't want to face a bet
Do we
and
do-
call in a spot where it is.
No? Oh, okay.
It's like avoiding that comfort maybe.
I think mostly she just tried to bluff the Vival and she missed. But I think it's a spot where it doesn't make sense from a value range, right? Like it's an offsuit low called. Nothing you had improved.
Call heads up.
He's more bull than you also. Like the way the equities distribute there is he's gonna have like top or bottom, and you're gonna have a bunch of bluff catchals. Leading with a range of bluff catchals is just going to make him fold his bluffs and call it his value.
Bet 20.
So like you don't gain anything.
Fold.
If you like, even if you think the Paulson's super out of line and always bluffing, just check call every time. It just doesn't make a ton of sense to play leads there. We got this 7s plus 10s. I think this is table 2. Yeah. Okay, so Anthony's been playing very loose. He had the Jack 10 out, he had an Ace Jack O, cold call in the small blind oil. So I mean, obviously I quite like this 3-bet. I think Dan can't go anywhere. Yeah, I think just call, but I think this is will be an interesting spot against someone who's played loose, shown a lot of willingness to put money in.
What do you think about the snap decisions like that? Do you want to talk about if there's any like?
I don't think in this type. Wow, what a flop. Unlucky by Anthony. I mean, he just gets stacked.
Okay.
I think in pre-flop it's not a huge deal. Like you have a pretty wide region of hands that people call, so I don't think like a snap decision when you're calling in a spot like this gives a ton of information.
Okay.
I think those other spots where snap decisions give a lot of information, but I don't think this is one. I would have liked to at least consider a raise on the flop. I think check calling's okay, but I don't like this. This doesn't make sense.
Making sure more money goes in with the set.
I don't think he is. I actually think this is a way to not win at all. It just doesn't make sense, right? Like,
I mean, you definitely aren't getting value from king queen offsuit anymore, or ace queen offsuit.
I mean, that's not what I'm worried about. It's more about like, poker's a game that functions based on what your value is. So he's in a spot where like, yeah, I mean, this is a disaster, like absolutely disaster. But like, he's in a spot where he's check called the flop on 7-6-2. Like he chose not to check raise. So that theoretically means that like his range is more bluff catchers. Like he should check raise some of his best hands. Now, hands he's check calling, the jack of diamonds does not interact with anything. Like, okay, sure, he could check call ace jack with a backdoor flush draw, but like, it's not like ace jack with a backdoor flush draw has like improved enough to want to like put a ton of money in.
Yeah.
So like now it was like randomly leading for a huge size. I mean, it's gonna be one way or the other. Like you're either gonna be way over bluffing or way over value heavy, and like, I do think it's probably just gonna be like a pretty value heavy line. Like it also just doesn't make sense. Like if he's so afraid of the player checking back, just check raise the flop. Like just put the money in yourself in a way that makes sense instead of this like weird line where, like, okay, clearly he doesn't believe that Anthony's gonna be aggressive enough on the turn to risk checking to him. That's fine, but then just check raise the flop because your entire opinion is like this guy isn't bluffing.
Yeah.
So then why have we not check raise the flop?
Well, and if Anthony sees this, he can also start to realize, wait a minute, so you check
Well, when you check the turn, like what do you have? You just have nothing.
Exactly.
You're leading your traps.
You just have one pairs all day, right?
I mean, yeah. I think it's just quite a problematic way to play your range, and I think it's not. I think a big thing in poker is your decisions from street to street need to make sense. So if your decision is that you should trap the flop because this guy bluffs a lot, how can your decision on a brick turn now be that you need to lead? I think this is something I see a lot with recreational players, or more novice players, is especially on the river, they get afraid of the person checking back.
Yeah, and then just not get in a spot where it doesn't make sense for their range.
Yeah, and I think it's always a thing, like if you have a really big hand and you don't believe the person's going to put the money in for you, then you should put the money in and when you have a chance, not like delay it. It just doesn't do you anything.
Yeah.
To be fair, a flush draw came on the turn there. I think he just didn't want the flush to come. I think that would be his reason. He wanted to protect against the flush.
Okay.
But I don't like that reasoning, but that would be my guess. I'm going to go back to all the tables.
Raise 15.
I would like to see
Fold.
you in full appeal. I do not like that open. Twos is not a good hand. You're under the gun.
Definitely gets worse
Fold,
when
heads
that
up.
draw is reduced too.
The bigger you make the open.
Open, huh?
Yeah. I think it's fine to open small. I would
Check.
generally just fold twos, EP. I
Bet 10.
don't like this play. Alright, we lost this.
No!
We're coming back, but
She gone. This is a pretty sick opportunity. You feel like you're going to be super burnt out by the end of the weekend just talking nonstop.
I like talking to people.
Thank you. 9:30 was it? So
Okay, so she goes for the cutoff king 8 offsuit open. And she gets it.
8:45 breakfast. That's the important one.
I don't think it would get a brewer recommended open.
I'll take it.
Oh, I just responded to my wife really quick.
I'm good, thank you.
How suggested, okay, two questions. How
yoga. How hard is the yoga?
Fold.
Feeling the 8-6 offsuit on the button versus.
Raise 15.
Yeah, I've seen Chloe peel a lot of not good offsuit
Raise
hands
50.
today. She's
Fold.
really wanting to get in now. I don't recommend
Fold.
this
Fold.
deal.
Fold.
And it looks like fours just lead here and small. It's okay. I don't no issue with that.
He was on there good.
I think it's small one.
Oh, is it with Straddler?
Yeah. I've got queens down here.
Waves finding the spicy king eight a hot.
I think that's just a good blue bet. I don't even think it's spicy. I think it's just pretty theoretically sound.
You made it sound not scary.
I would obviously fold to the full bet, but no, I think something like against a cutoff open, something that's like suit 8 or suit 7 that unblocks them opening offsuit
Raise 20.
8, 9, and 10x. It's just a good 3-bet bluff.
Fold, fold.
I actually really like this play as long as they fold to the full bet.
Well, how do you feel about the
Fold.
$125
Fold.
floor bet compared to I think it was a $30
Call,
or
heads up.
$55 3 bet, right?
Seems a bit big. It makes the fold easier. It's pretty committing.
It feels like it's going to be hard to expect
Check.
Tiger to have bluffs when it's most of almost half the stack.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably
Bet
not bluffing,
15.
but yeah, I think that was just a good play by Way. I quite like it.
I am a big old player.
Sure.
I used to be.
I think we're swapping out. Oh, sorry, we're gonna do a swap out in a second, but we have a few more. Yeah.
Playing it if we did.
Alright, what do we got? This button spot.
I'm like, oh, I might be.
Yeah, I know it's okay to check back.
I might be worse.
I would like to check back the tall now. I think betting the flop's a fine option, but I don't like betting the tall. Yeah, just check calls first.
Fold.
Yeah.
Raise 15.
I think that's
Some kind of
Call.
a DV board is just going to be hard to get paid.
Fold.
By a lot of things that are worth.
yeah, I think it's just a slight overplay of your hand. I don't think it's a crazy overplay, but a slight overplay.
Fold. Heads up.
We got pocket kings open, big or flatting 8s, and we have two interesting hands going. We have this ace-10 3-bet. So I think against this sizing,
30.
in a squeeze, 10-9
Bet
suited
30.
should fold. I don't like this peel. You're going to be out of position to two
Call.
players too often, and the size is really big. I don't think it's a crazy peel. I think it's heads up.
Bet
I would always peel it.
75.
It looks like ace-10 check back the flop. It's mono. I think that's fine. I think
Call.
this is a fine hand. This king's an 8's hand. It looks like Daniel.
Check, turn,
Check,
call,
check. Showdown.
We want to try to check with all.
Thought I was good there.
I think 10-9 2 is a fine bluff at this point. It went check flop. He got the tone. I think you really want your opponent to have kings or queens with a diamond. So I think having these calls is not bad. And yeah, I mean I wouldn't fold ace-10. I think this hand's relatively normalish post, but
Neither of us like the.
I think you could fold 3 with 10-9 suit. I don't think it's crazy. I don't think anyone did anything
Raise
particularly bad.
15.
Or, yeah, and I like all the post flop decisions by everyone.
Fold. Fold. Fold.
I do not like limping ace 4 under the gun. I'll probably say this a lot as we go through the stream, but
Fold.
just
Fold.
generally I would never limp unless I was like in the blinds. Yeah, it seems like maybe it was an action mistake actually though, but
It's really cool. Yeah. So good for this video.
I think Johnny's hand is probably a fold, but it's okay to open.
Raise 15. Fold. Call.
Call. Fold. Fold. Three players.
It's like Green's finding the ace nine off button flat. Maybe not great when we're this deep.
Bet 10. Bet 10.
Yeah.
Fold.
Yeah, I would have folded these. I know. I mean, now you're just gonna end up getting stacked. I'm not sure how we ended up with a lead in the small blind here. I'm guessing that's a graphic ale, but I'm not positive. Okay. So I think we're gonna switch into Andrew coming on. So it'll be me and Andrew on the comms together here. Yeah, no problem. It was enjoyable, John.
We're gonna end up, I'll probably gonna bring someone back.
That's fine. And then, yeah.
How's the stream been? Has the feed been keeping up?
Oh, it's mostly been good.
Okay, because they were having a lot of issues.
A lot of pre-flop stuff going on.
Check. Check.
Don't want to overly comment on it, but it's been a really consistent leak from everyone. A lot just being loose and passive.
So we can kind of.
We can choose which table. So like we can focus on table 1 here. We got this trips full strips.
Oh, now I know. Now I know. I'm keeping it to myself.
Solly seems to play well, from what I've seen.
He's just played good hands and played them well, yeah. It has seemed pretty clear.
He's in your camp?
Yeah.
Bet 155.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so the only thing is I need to, you can show me how it works.
I mean, you just click on the table. So you use that table, all tables here.
If you guys are talking to by the way, hit this.
If we're doing what?
So if you're like talking to each other, basically.
I like gave some thoughts and then like, yeah, you think this is going on, right? It's
Yeah,
like,
so I think
this
wait,
is
just
going
showing you, but you can
on.
go on a specific table, table 1, 2, 3, or like all tables. It'll probably just take a second to load, and that's basically it.
Paid thousands of dollars.
And then you clip that onto the tiger, which you see it right next to Andrew. And then you guys can like jump in and like introduce yourselves first to the viewers at home.
Yeah, I said that. I said that.
Okay. That way.
And this is.
So now, while I'm new, if you guys are ready. You guys ready?
Sure. Do I need to put on a mic or?
No, we're just sharing the ones.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Alright, we're in. So this,
Hey, why do I have like $200?
we can look through these 3 different tables, right? Okay, so what table do we know is it just mainly the feature table?
We've been looking at all 3. I think I saw Chris and Riley were actually just looking at this view, and then they were, if they wanted to focus on one, then they would click on it. But yeah, then I could, pick table.
Okay, so what do we got here? Trip 10s against 2 flush draws. We missed the action, but $56 in the pot. So probably single raise pot, bet call flop. I imagine the cutoff is the aggressor. Ooh, check back, okay.
Interesting.
So
Are you ever supposed to check back a 10 on the turn?
well you mean just if he had a 10?
Well, Billy here, right? Chloe checks turn. I assume.
Billy's in the big blind.
So
he checks back queen
he's.
jack.
I see. Understood. And
Okay.
Michael checks back queen jack suited.
Yeah, so he's just gonna go bet fold. So we had some potential to have an interesting one, but let's zoom back out and see. How did I get this off? Okay, well, there it goes. Yeah, this will be good. So what I really want to kind of, did I move this over? I might have accidentally moved that over. Yeah, I think the idea here is like really kind of get your thoughts on what you see and try to understand like how you would approach it. And I think that's going to be a good way to do some coaching here.
Sounds good.
So let's start down here with this Perman way hand. So low jack opens. They don't look very deep.
No. Coming from that table, I can tell you that Wei has been running it. So a lot of people are playing relatively short.
Yeah.
All right. Supreme 3 bets with the jacks in the small blind, pretty standard.
Yeah, then I'll see.
Oh, there's a UTG straddle, it looks like. And, she shoves with pocket 10s in the low jack. So, he has $400. Is pocket 10s ever supposed to be a jam here? Oh, actually, I guess it went all in pre-flop, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So is pocket tens ever supposed to be a jam there?
So a lot of it is just gonna have to do with like if there was a straddle, if not, the size that was used. But typically, like I like to play tens in a sort of spot like this in position, where just a call and kind of like take it into my call and see a flop range, which isn't going to be terribly wide. It's going to be, you know, a lot of hands that are just kind of too good to four bet and not good enough. Not good enough to four bet, but too good to fold.
Right.
So something like ace jack suited, ace queen suited come to mind. Pocket tens, nines, eights, tens. Obviously, you could mix in jamming.
When you're jamming pocket tens, you're thinking that it's for value and to clean up your equity against like you don't want to, because she's out of position. She just doesn't want to play pocket tens post flop. Is that the rationale for why you would jam tens, or in general you just never want to do that?
Well, a lot of it has to do with
given that like it's kind of a middling strength hand in your range.
Yeah, I mean tens is like a pretty big equity favorite against ace king and ace queen. You know, good 6%. So you just have the best hand here against more of the. So you're gonna see ace king and ace queen more than you're gonna see like jacks plus. It's definitely like not a thrilling spot, but it's just kind of like the worst hand you kind of get in. But again, like especially if you think your opponent's not three betting very light in the blinds, it makes a lot of sense to just call in position and just take it from there.
Makes sense.
I wonder why this table's not loaded. Maybe we just look really quick.
So that's table 2. Table 1 doesn't seem to be loaded.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll tell them to see if they can fix it. Vince, can you tell them that table 1 the stream doesn't work? The table 1 stream doesn't work. That table, the stream doesn't work. Yeah.
Well, at least on ours thing, it's not working. Let me see if it's on YouTube.
So while they're playing these,
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
relatively small pawns,
Oh, this is an interesting hand,
Yes.
kind of.
bottom 2 against a middling
Yeah.
pair. So he is barreling the turn. I'm assuming he's the pre-flop aggressor in the hijack seat.
Yeah.
Your barreling turn is a bluff, right?
What do you think?
I'm assuming because no value hand, sorry, no hand that you're beating would call you, and you're betting 60 into a pot of, I guess before this 100.
Yeah, it's unclear just given I don't know what the action was. I didn't follow it. Let's follow here, that way we can pick up one from the beginning.
Sure.
Cutoff opens.
With ace queen.
Billy calls in the small line with 10-9 off. That's pretty loose.
Yeah.
But I think this hand is kind of a nothing hand. We'll see.
So, assuming it's just $10, this is a spot that comes up quite often for me. You're in the big blind. You're 2 unsuited cards. Generally, you want to fold these, but they're almost never dominated, right? 8-6. Usually, your opponents don't have 8s or like any 8 or 6, and you just call 7 more to win a pot of 30. How should you think about playing these kind of like middling unsuited cards that are like semi-capped?
Yeah. It's a good question.
Yeah.
I think one of the things you really have to consider is there a big blind ante? Typically, when you play tournaments, you'll see a big blind ante. I know you said you're more interested in cash games, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of the studying that I do is in big blind ante tournaments, and you're gonna like really like 8-6 off is like it's kind of like a clear call hand.
Yeah.
But much worse, you're gonna be folding.
Especially deeper, right? You want to fold more of these trash offsuit hands when you're deeper, or?
No, because like a trash offsuit hand is like, 7-3 off. Like 8-6 off is definitely a hand that when you make strong hands, like you're gonna have pretty good clarity on the hand. Like you're gonna know you have like a pretty good hand on, 10-6-8 or 6-8 deuce or Queen 6-6. Like a lot of these like hands where you make strong
Yeah.
hands, it's like you're very unlikely to be dominated.
But more commonly, you're going to find yourself in a spot like where the flop comes king 7-6 or king 8-5, right? And you now have a pretty middling hand that is going to be played out of position against two opponents. Like, those are tricky spots to navigate. No?
Well, you should be thinking about it more in terms of you're being laid a price. You don't need to. You don't need to win the hand. You know, you're just making a profitable call pre with one hand in your range, and you're like actually like it becomes really difficult for people to play against you when you have these hands in the big blind because you know, and all these like what would it be? So you had 8-6, so like 9-7, 9-8-7, right? So you can like a 9-8-7 board where you're just gonna have or 10-7. What's the straight with 9-7? 10-8-6. Yeah. So a 10-8-6 board, for example, like the fact that you have all the 8-6 off in your range, like is going to dictate the strategy a lot against the big blind. Like the big blind can be really aggressive in certain spots, just leveraging the advantage that they're going to have like offsuit combinations of like 8-6 and like 10-9, 9-7 off, or like
Right. So
bottom two and top and bottom off.
going back to like would you play those hands? The general like in cash games specifically, assuming that you're 100 or 200 big blinds deep.
Yeah.
Generally, when the price is pretty good, open to 10, one caller, you call 7 more to win 30. You're usually calling those types of hands, right?
Yeah, I would say if you were playing in a game where you felt like everybody was really tough, you'd be more inclined to fold hands like that. I think I would probably still call it just because you need to have, like I'm playing my range and in tough games, I just like stick more to my ranges. I will fold a little bit more of the bottom and different stuff, but I think 8-6 is just a fine call. It's like you shouldn't be so concerned about.
So this is an interesting spot.
Yeah.
7-8 suited, king jack 3 bets in hijack, small blind Helen, 4 bets ace queen off.
Yeah.
You never call there with ace queen off, I assume.
No.
Do you ever fold it, or you 4-bet that 100% of the time, assuming that the players aren't,
What do you think?
OMCs? I think I'm leaning towards 4-betting most of the time, especially because it was. So what was the opening? What was the open position again? It was.
It looks like it came from early. Because I think Anthony opened 8-7 suited, Johnny 3-bet king jack off, and she 4-bet in the blind, small blind. What's the worst offsuit ace you would 4-bet?
Ace queen off.
I think you could get away with ace jack off. It's
Really? You would 4-bet ace jack off against early position raise and 3-bet?
I mean, the thing is, like, you have to understand the environment you're playing in.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're playing in like your local 1-2 game at 10 a.m., you're definitely not doing that. You're probably even folding ace queen.
Yeah.
But if you're playing in like a live stream where everyone's like, here to get better at poker and trying really hard, because everyone here, the assumption is that they're trying to get good at poker, they're in that mind. And so I think the way I would kind of think about it is like when Johnny 3-bets, do I think Johnny's going to look down at king jack off and fold? No. Do I think he's going to 3-bet? Maybe. He did. If I think he's going to look down at ace 10 off, do I think he's going to 3-bet?
A good portion of the time.
Probably a lot, yeah. Like, does he get 3-bet king queen off? Probably like a decent amount. Like, if I can look at my opponent and think about these hands that I think he's going to 3-bet, then and I can find all those hands, I'm not folding ace jack. I'm going to 4-bet fold it. The thing is, offsuit combinations really start to really sway strategies. If Johnny's 3-betting every king jack O, king queen O, ace 10 O,
then
ace jack O,
4-bet way wider.
you're gonna jack up your aggression a lot because like that's way out of line. But the thing is he's not really even making a mistake by 3-betting king jack O in an environment where like people are playing really loose and they're gonna not 4-bet very much. They're gonna fold a lot. They're gonna call a lot of weak hands.
So let's throw out ace queen for a second. You're Helen, you're in the small blind.
She ace
What?
queen again.
She's running pretty hot. She had king queen in the hand before.
I think
But
she just called this time.
in the cutoff. Interesting.
Versus under the gun open.
Yeah, I mean that might make sense. What do you have any? What are the hands that you're flatting with in the small blind? So generally, I heard.
I'm sorry. Say it one more time.
So you're Helen in the previous hand. Let's say instead of ace queen, what is the worst hand that you call with in that spot versus fold? Or do you even have a calling range at all? Is it just better to play a pure fold, four better fold strategy?
What do you think?
I think as you're not super deep, which we aren't, you probably want to just make it easier on yourself and play four better fold. And I think the worst that you would you would four bet there be pocket tens.
Yeah, so a good way to think about it is, if you decided, let's say, like, what's a hand that wants to call there? Like, what?
Pocket nines, pocket tens, queen jack suited, maybe not queen jack suited because you're dominating. Maybe jack nine, 10-9 suited, maybe.
Yeah, so a good rule of thumb is like when you can't think of very many hands that want to call, you're probably not going to play calling range. Like I can't really, like, even a hand like, yeah, I'd say like specifically nines and
10-9 suited.
tens and like eights and yeah, 10-9 suited, jack 9 suited. Like those hands like kind of want to call, like, but really like you can't build an entire calling range around like such a.
What do you do with
range.
king queen suited?
Just four better fold. Yeah, you just play four better fold. That's kind of what I was getting at.
So you do four bet like a king jack suited, king 10 suited, king queen suited some portion of the time.
I mean, if you four bet, you mean four bet?
Yeah, four bet. Sorry.
If you four bet king jack suited, is he gonna fold ace jack off?
Probably.
Yeah. Is he gonna fold king queen off?
So those are just good spots.
Yeah, I mean, because he's got all these offsuit combinations. Your bluff is pretty efficient, where like you fold out some hands that dominate you that are gonna be high frequency bluffs for him. So I mean, that's a kind of a good way for you to go through in your head and try to decide if you want to use that hand as a bluff or not.
Makes sense.
Let's. I want you to comment a little bit on this. I mean, we are, but I want you to like also try to
look at the live.
Yeah, and see if we can get you in a tough spot and see what you would do. Now that's getting a lot of good hands.
So it's king queen off, and it's just the call and the cutoff.
See,
generally, I would like to three bet
I'll
that.
have king queen.
Wow. Okay. If king queen suited in the big blind.
What do you think here, given our loss?
Given that there's an under the gun straddle, so there's someone behind you. I don't hate the three bet. What is the size? To $75, and it was a 15. That seems a tad large. I don't like the call from Dan. When Helen and Johnny have both. When Helen is the pre-flop aggressor and she calls a bet, I think your king queen is dominated a lot. And you're capping yourself by calling. I would fold that 100% of the time.
What do you think about Helen's call three?
I think it's a good call. She's kind of she was the original opener, right?
Yeah.
And then she called a three bet from the big blind. I think you can never fold that hand. It plays really well in position. It's suited. You're beating some value, not beating, but you're flipping against pocket tens, pocket jacks, ace jack, that are all going to do that.
Ooh, Dan's betting here. What do you think about this bet?
So when check bet,
yeah,
I really don't like it, to be honest. I think you're only going to get called by better, and you're never folding out. Yeah, you're only going to get called by better.
Yeah, it's problematic. I think the main problem that Dan has with betting this hand is that, like, you could argue like he could start bluffing, but the thing is, like, his range doesn't really want to bet here. He just flatted pre for the initial open, and he just called again. His range is going to be a lot of suited hands and pocket pairs. it's gonna be a lot less like ace queen and stuff, ace jack. Those hands are more likely to 3-bet the initial opener. You shouldn't have hands like ace 10 off and like ace jack off. You shouldn't have those. Those should have folded at some point. So just in terms of his overall range, it doesn't really want to put money in. And he has a hand that's very.
It has good showdown value.
Yeah,
if it checks through, he's probably good, right? And it doesn't really need protection from any worse hands.
Yeah, it's not like what card comes off on the turn that you're like, oh shit, now I don't feel good about my hand. It's like can't really think of it.
So it checks through on turn. Wow. So.
Oh wow, everybody mixes straight. This is gonna be funny. Everyone has the nuts. See, there's 460 in the pot. I guess he just jams. What do you think he should do?
So he has 549. I would open jam. I think you don't really have any other size, and when you're betting that river, you're saying you have a queen or nothing, right? So
he blocked. So you think
maybe a block is actually not a bad idea because you can get called by an ace. Sometimes you even get heroed by a king.
Yeah, it's more like you're targeting 2-pair to call you, I think.
Yeah, sure.
You're betting into 2 players, so
when you pot it, well, actually on the river, if he goes all in, it would be more than pot. When you bet that size, do you think you're ever getting called by a set or a 2-pair? Not that they have very many sets, but do you think you get called by a 2-pair? By population?
I think so. I think it's a good size. I think you want 2 sizes. You want small size, you want all in, you want opposite check. I think his range really likes to block because he's gonna have a lot of like ace king, pocket kings. Let's see what happened. What was flop? Checked flop, right?
Yeah.
So ace king. He even had like ace jack. Maybe hand like pocket tens.
Helen just calls, which is interesting.
Yeah, why would you just
do you ever just call there with the nuts?
I mean, the only
like you're believing that Johnny has a queen and you want Dan to put in money as a bluff or with a worse 2-pair or oh, you can hear them.
Yeah. I don't see any reason to just call. The only reason you would just call is just to hope that Dan
puts in the money and you chop his money
or something.
So when it goes block, call, do you call with 2-pair?
No.
You just fold, right?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, what you want to do in that spot is you want to think, like, how strong is the range that bets? It's a 3-bet pot, and he check called the flop with the player behind on ace king X, and then the board ran jack 10. It's so hard for him to have a bluff here. He has so much like 2-pair himself and even some straights that like you almost want to fold 2-pair into the first bet, which you probably should pretty often. And then when someone calls, you have like quite an easy fold at that point.
So you should just never call at Helen's spot. You should just always jam, because otherwise you.
Oh no, I see. You're saying for her.
Yeah.
I see. If she beats value, she needs to call. So like, let's say she has.
What do you mean she beats value? She needs to call.
Yeah. So if she has ace king here, and he blocks, then she needs to call because he might have ace jack sometimes.
Right. But with her exact hand, with a queen, you should never call.
No, you should never call. But that's a real simple way also to like think about spots that when you're running through on the river and you're like, do I beat value? And if the answer is sometimes, then you can't ever fold really, and you should consider raising.
Makes sense. So this is a fun bet. There's a 7-deuce hand emerging.
It seems like he's gonna get called, yeah.
It's hard to fold top pair blocking the straight.
See, that's what I mean. I don't know if they're playing the 7-deuce bounty game, but you know, I can't really. Yeah, you know that one's been down, right? Did you mention it, right?
Yeah, I mentioned it today.
Yeah. We lost the main table for a while. Alright, should I? Are you out? Yeah.
I'm just grabbing my tall
Okay.
All good. Unless you want me to hop on.
No, that's cool. I mean,
A7 raise in the cutoff. It's a tile boost, but it's fine, right?
yeah, if you're gonna expand, like having a hand like this, I think is nice. Why do you think I think like having a hand like this is nice?
Because you're, I don't know, like you're usually ahead. And ace, like it's very easy to play, right? If you're not getting raised, then generally speaking, you hit an ace, you feel pretty good. And if you don't hit an ace and someone, or like let's say you hit 2 sevens, right? You're almost always good.
Yeah, it's like the simplest reason actually. It's just that when you open with A7, you reduce the frequency at which you can bet. What's gonna happen?
Bet 70. Fold.
They're gonna check if they have a position when they miss every time, and you're gonna steal a lot of equity in these positions in general.
Wait, I had the best hand.
They really, it's a nice hand to have.
How did I have the best hand?
You need hands in your range that can raise and like feel super happy about folding. You know? So like the problem that tag players will run into sometimes is that
Never call it flop with a good hand. Like it's. Are you?
the problem that you run into when you're
No, I'm saying my
tight is that like you
I'm making money on the flop. Yeah, yeah. That's insane. Yeah, you were actually without.
So, obviously, way folds with that.
well,
I'm
she
assuming.
cold called the 3-30s, dude.
I think
Yeah, it was off for like 3
I'm just like.
If you're
Fold.
green, should you be value betting turn with
Yep, first action fold.
He 3-bet 3-4 suited.
right?
Raise
but on that
15,
board,
fold.
Turn comes another spade.
Fold.
4 spades. You hold 2 spades in your hand.
Oh, yeah.
Fold.
Are you value betting or are you checking, hoping to get, bluff catches in one of the river?
See, like
It was
my
like-
heart says Bruce.
But a lot of high card spades were also gone.
Fold.
It was like
Fold.
he had something.
I'm near both though.
Okay.
Typically, like when you have the way that I would think about it, and I'm remembering things back is that you can jump into.
Yeah, if you want to replace them.
He says he's like
The way I would think about it with 3-4 suited is that you're unblocking so many.
Also, I guess it's a five.
So like,
Yeah, they're real close. He's going to be.
Big blind?
There's like air plus straight.
That's what I'm saying.
Down there
saying.
Yeah,
It's like we quite loose, right? So, and your hand does need some protection. You have 4 high
Fold.
flush. You know, so, and you can get called by lots of worse hands. You can get raised by a lot.
Raise 15.
So
That's what it looks like.
Fold.
Like it's fine. Like it's not fine, but it's fine.
Fold.
Calling a raise.
Fold.
it's not about that.
Fold.
It's like that you're too high up in your range to fold. You have a lot of other hands that can fold.
Really? So you would bet call a 3-bet, like a raise with just the 4 high flush on that?
So one thing that you're kind of doing, which I think is very common, is that you're thinking about poker in like
If I ever do hit a flop,
very abstract way.
7-8.
You want to be thinking about like this person,
And it just always has like this way better right
and
there.
she's being really aggressive.
Although that
Fold.
flop we didn't.
If you know, the
Fold.
dice are at the table raise you in that spot, like, you have
Fold.
fairly easy fold.
Fold.
But if someone is drinking and just called like a 2x pot river back with king high and folds,
Call.
just called it
Option.
a
I
raise
think that means I need to target you.
Raise to 15.
Like,
Fold.
if she raises you on the turn, like, you're bluff catching essentially. Maybe she has some worse value in there. But you're bluff catching against the right player in the right situation.
Right.
So it's
and,
like, yeah.
and what are your logical bluffs on a 4-card monotone board?
It's
Like
a
a
3
straight
bet
draw.
mono.
It
It
was,
was
and then it turned another spade.
no, it was only 3 spades.
Oh, it was only 3 spades. Okay, wait, that changes everything I said.
Okay.
Wait, because I thought it was 4-card spade
No, no,
and it
no.
was like a 4 high.
Okay.
Never mind.
You're out of here, Tiger.
I
Get out of here.
Get out.
Yeah, get out.
I'm gone. I'm gone. Sorry.
We'll talk more.
Yeah,
It was
of course.
fun. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Go win some money. Hey, how are you?
Hey, what's the matter?
We are in the booth. We are live, so we're having fun. We just had a stream down. Your stream was actually down for a good 20 minutes.
Okay.
So that's unfortunate,
Full.
but. And
Great.
actually,
It's been a good time.
yeah, fill me in on like how's it been so far. What has it been like at the table?
It's been fun. It's a pretty table out there, but
Heads up.
I feel like everybody is asking for feedback right away.
What do you think about the level of play so far at your table?
It's been solid. I think we have a lot of tournament players at our table who are not necessarily used to cash games. So
Check.
I haven't found anything too
Check.
difficult. I don't know. I feel like everyone's been playing pretty solid.
Check. Showdown.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're just gonna try to turn the volume up a little bit as the crowd has requested to hear our voices. Okay, good. Yeah, I was just curious because it seems like your table has the highest composition of skilled players. You know, so which I think is good for you, but also you do like one of the value I think. Wow, did she just 3-bet king 2 off? Says okay, good job, Helen. I mean, you won the pot. I don't know, good job. But it's good for you to play against good players in terms of like, you know, kind of showing what you're made of. But also, it's nice to play against some of the weaker players too, because it can be really difficult. Actually, it can be really difficult to respond to really unorthodox plays, which I think beginner players will present those to you more. And I think it's also really good to see how you'll respond and potentially exploit. So
Yeah, absolutely. I think playing in Texas, you get a lot of experience playing against weaker players who can show up with anything.
Bet $3.
And have to adjust to it.
yeah, you're kind of like raised in the wild.
Check.
We see Anthony with aces on the bottom.
Check.
She opened these
Check.
guys here.
Showdown.
Yeah, that would be like a hand that I think is too rich to open. Like, you really don't open too many hands with the deuce in them when you play on the button in like a cash game with no ante. You're meant to be a lot tighter on the button there. Like, the big blind ante really does kind of incentivize both the big blind and the big blind, small and big blind to fight a lot more for the pot. But you don't really see people adjusting to that. Like if you're playing 1-3 at the lodge or TCH, like people are still very much. Do you think it's good? Okay.
Fold.
What do you think about opening on the button if you think that there's weaker players in the blinds that you can outplay post flop?
You have to be really careful with that kind of thinking, especially if you play tournaments. Because at the end of the day, if you're just like having 6-3 off, and they just like call with them, even though they're a weak player, like they call pre-flop, you're just gonna have no equity on a lot of boards, and you're in a wide range spot where like you might just be blasting. Yeah. And so like you're still just gonna end up in a lot of situations where you have a lot of bluffs in your range, and like yeah, you end up like putting yourself in like a lot of, I don't know, I think like a lot of negativity spots. Sorry, I'm getting kind of tired.
No, that makes a lot of sense. It's interesting to also hear different perspectives because I've heard varying things about how wide you should open on the button and if you're confident in your post flop play. So
Yeah, but like if it depends on how you want to expand. Like if you wanted to expand with like your king X, like it makes more sense because like you just like have more showdown value. You just when you make a pair, it's just like a lot stronger. When you just have these like you know super wide opens with like 7-4 off and 6-3 off. Again, like you're gonna get into these spots where the pot's gonna be like if you're playing a 1-2 game.
Bet 10.
You're like the board will come. You'll have like nothing. There'll be like $100 in the pot, and your opponent calls, and you're like, "How did I get here?" And it's like, "Well, you started with 6-3, and then you know, you like had like a good board for you, and you just thought you could keep bluffing."
yeah, absolutely. We got a big hand developing at the bottom. We saw an open, a 3-bet from 9-10, or no, a call from 9-10 of diamonds, a 3-bet from king queen, and now there's a 4-bet from pocket kings in the straddle.
Yep, 65.
So
Neither player is going to like the ace high board so much.
Call.
under the gun versus small blind. Okay, so The small blind 3-bets, is that what happened?
The small blind 3-bet,
And then,
the straddle 4-bet.
okay, so that was a straddle. Okay.
I think so. And I think it is checked to the river.
Bet 230.
And it looks like they're just taking it to showdown. King, queen.
No, I think she's going to value bet, looks like. Yeah, because.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, after 3 checks. I like the value bet after 3 checks. She can assume that she almost always has the best hand.
Yeah. So it was open small blind, she 3-bet straddle for sure?
King, queen,
'Cause I thought-
small blind 3-bet. So there was an open from
Oh, and then she
early
4-bet,
position, a
and he
call. There was an open, a flat, then small blind 3-bet with king, queen. She 4-bet from the straddle, and
yeah.
he 2 folds and a call.
Yeah. What did you think about the call pre?
I don't like the call pre.
Yeah, why not?
I think that out of position, king, queen off is, first of all, very hard to play if you don't flop a pair, and if you do flop a pair, you're dominated a lot of the time from a 4-betting range.
Yeah, I think one of the big things here is that, like, if we're just thinking about how the population plays, that's a really strong 4-bet. A cold 4-bet from the straddle, like, you just don't really see people showing up with bluffs here too often.
Yep.
Raise, calls, squeeze, 4-bet. It's just a lot of action. So I think, like, some scenarios you could justify calling king, queen off, but this one just feels too loose. What do we got here? Button, cutoff, small blind. So cutoff opens, button call, Johnny 3-bet, 4. It says 4-bet, so interesting. So this, how is this gonna work? Call button. Yeah, so it must just be a 3-bet. That's wrong, right?
Oh god.
I'm not sure.
Wow, he folded 10s.
Okay.
And then he gets called by king 10. Wow, that's crazy.
Oh.
I think
It's a bump
part of
out.
the fold from 10s is I think Dan has been kind of
Oh,
getting
God. I'm
kicked
not
around a little bit, and he's feeling a little, you know, because I don't think he would have folded that earlier, just watching how he played. So yeah, with this, what do you think about? So I'm assuming that it was just like open call, squeeze, fold, call.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about Prem's decision here on the flop?
Calling pre-flop or?
On the flop. Do you think he should fold or do you think he should call?
Well, it's unclear. Did he fold or call?
He called.
He called.
75
okay.
into.
So they're on the turn.
To like, yeah, it was like 360, 370 in the pot. What do you think?
I don't mind the float from in position. You can probably get more information from your opponent on the turn. The flop continue is so small that
The C-bet, right?
yeah, the flop
Yeah.
C-bet is so small that I think oh wow, that's he sized.
Oh, he just puts him in? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he put them all in. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so Johnny, like,
Yeah, I'm
bluffs
not
the turn.
sure that I like the turn all in because at that point I feel like he's just in an uncomfortable spot and is like, all right, I don't want to make any more decisions. Like, we're just gonna put him all in.
I think he does have some things
The
going
first
for him
hand
with
they
ace
dealt
jack.
was a double board PLO
So,
bomb pot. I don't know how to do that.
Like, he probably expects that he gets raised by a queen at least some of the time. Or maybe he picked up from Prem that, just given how he played, that based on his timing or whatever, that like he didn't feel like he had a strong hand because he didn't. Maybe he had a close decision to a call and a fold,
Yeah.
which he did. So on the king, it's like he's really targeting exactly those
This person's a button.
pocket pairs that flatted initially and then reflatted. So when you jam here with ace jack, you kind of just feel like he's going to fold those pocket pairs, and when he has a king, he's going to call. And potentially even a queen could fold, even though I don't think he really expects a queen to fold. They had him in the garage. Yeah.
Yeah. When it's You said it was 65 into about 300?
75 into
75.
370, something
Okay,
like that.
so it was such a small continue that
No graphics.
I think if you float on the button, you do have the backdoor draw, and you have a lot of cards that you're picking up equity on the turn, and so your opponent may end up capping themselves on the turn. Although I guess he didn't have that much behind, so it gets a little bit difficult when you're so short stacked.
Yeah, and I think Johnny's a little handcuffed too. Like, he can't really bluff too much once you call the flop. Although he did, but
Yeah.
you know, he got a good card to bluff with or whatever. So you actually do win the pot a lot when Johnny just doesn't have a pair.
Yeah.
Which, if his range is wide enough pre, which we definitely can see that it is, you know, your peel on the flop I think is kind of mandatory. And see, it's actually been kind of hard to keep up. There's been like some pretty big hands happening. Yeah. Are you cutting it? Yeah, sure. Cool. So I guess this is all recorded then?
Yeah, it's all recorded.
I guess we're signing off for tonight. So.
All right. Thanks for having me.
I know it wasn't like terribly long, but we'll definitely have a lot of. Oh, Anthony has trips here. Check out. But we have a lot of good stuff I think to go over for people. So how? Because what I wanted to do is, are we done? Did I shut it? Oh, okay.